Here is a story from Haiti called The Monkey and Papa God. Deep in the forest there lived an old woman. All her neighbours were a good walk away from her house. She lived alone most of the time. Well, alone that is, except for her bees. She kept a lot of bees. And of course bees make honey, that's right. And she had so many jars of honey every year. She always had enough to put in her basket and walk round to all her neighbours and give them honey. And even when she'd given her neighbours honey, she had enough jars of honey to fill all her shelves and cupboards. And even then, when she'd been round all her neighbours and when she'd filled her shelves and cupboards, she still had enough honey to fill a great big jar. And that honey she always took to market. As soon as she filled the jar, she would step out of her house, put the jar on top of her head, and lock her little cottage door. And then she would begin the long walk to market. Now it took 3 days to walk to market. So at the end of the first day, as night came on, she would snuggle down in the crook of a tree trunk and she would hold tight onto that jar of honey. Then in the morning, she'd put it back upon her head, walk another day. And when night came, again the same thing. She would snuggle down at the bottom of a tree, hug the honey to her to keep it safe through the night. Well, she did that for 2 nights. On the third morning, she knew she would be at the market that day. So she put the jar on her head and thought of all the things she would buy with the money she'd get for her honey. And she was thinking so hard about selling the honey, she didn't look where she was going. And she tripped over a root of a tree trunk, and down she tumbled. Down tumbled the great big jar of honey, and it smashed into 100 pieces. And the old woman, she got to her feet, and she looked at her honey, and she shook her fist at the sky, and said, Papa God, why have you brought me so much trouble, Papa God? Why have you brought me so much trouble? And she turned and made the long walk home. But up in the tree, a little monkey had been watching. And he was curious. So when she'd gone, he came down from the branches of the tree and he picked up a broken piece of jar. And it was all sticky, so he... That's delicious, he thought. So he picked up another bit of the jar. And another piece of the jar. And soon he'd licked all 100 pieces of the jar clean of honey. But he hadn't had enough. There was still some honey on leaves, so he picked up leaves and on twigs. And soon all the honey was gone. And the monkey thought, oh, I'd like some more of that. Oh, that was so sweet. That was so delicious. I'd really like some more. What did she call it? I remember. Trouble. She said, Papa God, why have you sent me so much trouble? Oh, I want trouble. I want lots and lots of trouble. So he decided he'd go up and see Papa God. So he found the tree, the special one that stretches all the way up into the sky. And the monkey climbed. And he climbed and he climbed and he climbed and he climbed. And he came to where Papa God lived up in the sky. And he walked up to Papa God's door and he knocked on the door. And Papa God opened the doors. Ha, monkey! Oh, I do love watching you down there playing your tricks, swinging from branch to branch, being silly. What can I do for you? I want some trouble, please. Please, can I have lots of trouble? As much trouble as you can give me. Please, can I have some trouble? Trouble? Said Papa God. Yes, please. I want trouble. Very well, then I'll get you some special trouble, especially for monkeys. Papa God went into his house, and when he came out, he brought a big sack that was tied up with a piece of rope. And he said, now take this. This is all the trouble you'll need, but don't open it in the big forest. To get all the trouble you want, you must take this to the big sandy desert where no tree grows. Only when you're in the middle of the big sandy desert where no tree grows should you open it, because only there will you have the trouble you need. Okay, said the monkey, I'll do that. And he put the sack over his shoulder. He climbed down the tree. Now it was hard work climbing up to Papa God's house and climbing down, and when he got down into the forest, he was tired and he was hungry. He thought about opening that sack. No, I can't, he said. No, I can't. Papa God said the big sandy desert. So he began to walk through the forest. And he walked for a day, and he walked for 2 days, he walked for 3 days, and by now he was really tired and hungry, and he put the sack on the ground, and he was just about to open it when he thought, no, Papa God said I wouldn't get all the trouble. So he put the sack back over his shoulder and walked out to the forest, and he got to the middle of the big sandy desert where no tree grows. And there he put down the sack, and he untied the rope, and he opened the sack, and out jumped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 great big black dogs with red staring eyes and great big sharp white teeth, and they saw the monkey and they began to chase him. They barked, they roared, and the monkey ran for his life, and the 7 dogs ran after him. And though the monkey ran fast, all the dogs, they were a bit faster, and it wasn't long before they could hear their snapping jaws behind him. He could feel their hot breath on his back, and he was whisking his tail to one side so that the jaws wouldn't close on him and bite. And just when he thought the 7 dogs were going to catch him, right in front of him, up shot a fully grown tree. And the monkey climbed up the tree and hid in the branches. And the 7 dogs, well, dogs can't climb trees. Well, the 7 dogs, they milled around the tree, groaning and very unhappy. Well, they stayed there for 2 days. And then they decided the monkey wasn't coming down, and they went off to find easier prey. And when he was sure they'd gone, the monkey came down from that tree, and he made his way back to his forest home. And the monkey, he never ever went looking for trouble again. But you know, it's very strange, isn't it, that in the middle of the big sandy desert where no tree grows, a fully grown tree shot up right in front of the monkey, just at the right time. But you know what I think? I think Papa God did that, because Papa God knows that too much trouble is no good for anyone, even little greedy monkeys.